Waheguru ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru ji ki Fateh. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Rajveer Singh. Been working at Akaal Channel for almost a year now. Before that, I've been a very active member in youth-related issues, and this is one of those youth-related issues, unfortunately. Today we'll really be talking about, I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, but really it's a bit of a wake-up call. It's a bit of a benti to people, to the youth. Now, don't get this confused with the organization Sikh Youth. This isn't, in any way, shape or form a target to them. This isn't any way, shape or form any target to any societies. Sikh Youth organization. What this is a target to is that small minority of people that are ruining the image of the youth. Now, you may be asking why. Being on this journey at Akaal Channel, I've noticed a few things. I used to really enjoy representing the youth, being that young Sikh that was on TV representing the youth. Nowadays, not so much. Plainly, just purely because there are certain people that are ruining the image of the youth. And unfortunately, it's people like me, people who are Amritari, people who are meant to be pracharaks, meant to be good Sikhs, and instead they're not exactly following, they're not exactly falling on the right path. They've kind of got this jhutha concept of what they believe Sikhi is. Now, whether it's because they're falling into Kaam Krodh Lobh Moh Ahankar, whether it's because they're falling into this kind of fake pride that they have over our history, but whatever it is, it's starting to cause a lot of issues recently that I've seen. And it's not something that needs to go unaddressed either. It needs to be addressed, it needs to be sorted out. Really, it's this idea of negativity. All boils down to that. Negativity in our pant. Negativity is something that the youth always complains about. They always complain that the elder generation has such a negative outlook on the youth. They don't regard us as equals. They don't regard the Sikh youth as in Sikhi. And I totally understand that. I've been the shikar of that as well. You're not the only ones. But alongside that, we are at fault as well. And unfortunately, that is where the Sikh youth is falling behind. The Sikh youth fails to acknowledge that nowadays it's not like it was back in those days. It's not that the Sikh youth is falling off the path of Sikhi. Nowadays there are a lot of Sikhs, young Sikhs that are Amritari, that are following the Sikh path, and they haven't got a problem. Even those who aren't Amritari, even those who don't have the Sarup, they have good intentions towards Sikhi. They have good beliefs about Sikhi as well. But having said that, where all that is great, we have forgotten our Barney. We've forgotten what Barney teaches us. We've fallen into this kind of, ideology that Guru Tegh Bahadur Maharaj talks about in their sloks. And they talk about Chuthe maan kahan kare jag supne jeo jaan. That don't have false pride over things. Recognize this jug, this world, as a dream, because it is a dream, and we haven't woken up, unfortunately. Nowadays there have been certain issues coming up in the news, whether it's this whole Ranjit Bawa Ghana issue, whether it's this whole Mumbai issue where 2 Sikhs were attacked in Mumbai, whether it's the Nankana Sahib issue that occurred a while ago. But unfortunately, the initial reaction from the youth is only what I can be described as disgusting. It pretty much is fair to say that you could have no difference in what the reaction of the youth has become to the reaction of Suchanand, the reaction of Gangu, the reaction of Wazir Khan. It's pretty much on the same balance at the moment. Now, before you start taking your kripans out your mayans and you start getting angry at me, at least listen to what I'm saying. The reason is that over the past couple of days, obviously with this issue in Mumbai, there have been certain Sikhs, you know, and to be honest, I don't feel happy calling them Sikhs either, you know, saying things like fake langaris have been woken up by this issue. You know, Sikhs, so-called Sikhs, have, you know, got a wake-up call. Those Sikhs need to remember their history. Guru Sahib fought with Muslims, and those Sikhs need to remember that history. Guru Sahib said never to trust a Muslim. You can't have a good Nazi, how can you have a good Muslim? Those are the kind of comments, those are the kind of things that Sikhs have been saying online. And I will post a few examples as well. I'm not just making this up. Now, when I say it, it sounds really stupid. But unfortunately, those people are people who are Sikh youth people. They are young Sikhs. Because they are young Sikhs, they represent what young Sikhs are. So if you're going to be a young Sikh, why are you trying to now defame your Guru for no reason? There's so many people, news is worldwide, that have been thanking Sikhs during this coronavirus pandemic for giving out langar to everyone, not just looking at their dharam, not thinking of saving Sikhs. We've been giving it out to everyone. And there's a small minority of Sikh youth people who are now saying that Sikh langaris, this is a wake-up call to you. How insulting do you think that is? You know, I'd love to hear those people say that to Bhai Kanhaiya ji. Because Bhai Kanhaiya ji gave water to Muslims, to Hindus, to Pathans, to those people who are fighting against Guru Sahib in that jung. Why? Because they saw Akaal Purkh in everyone. You know, how far have we fallen off this pedestal that, you know, we have Sikh, so-called Amritdhari Sikhs, saying that we should go tear down anything that's been built by a Muslim, anything that has a Muslim's nishan on it. You know, if you want to do that, if you really want to do that, go tear down Darbar Sahib as well. Because Darbar Sahib, the foundation was placed by Saimi Amir. Obviously, it's a Sikhistan, but we have 4 doors for a reason, so that anyone can come in. Unfortunately, we have this kind of false perception about Sikhi nowadays, where it's just for us. Sikhi was this elite dharam that was created as a revolution to make people understand that oppression is not okay. And now we're becoming those people that are trying to oppress other people. And unfortunately, it is the youth. Again, I don't like calling them Sikhs because they're more towards that gundagardi route. They're not Sikhs, they're gunde, they're gangsters, they're wannabes. Yeah, you got these same people who are walking around in damalle and they're covering up their faces, putting hoodies over their damalle, like that's any sort of respect for that damalla that Shaheed Singhs have given their sers for. That's really, 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 really bad. You know, and it is negative me saying it as well, but it's the only way we can address these issues. We have to sit down, we have to talk about it. I understand, I'm a Naujawan too, I understand that when things like this happen, it does annoy you. It does get your blood boiling. It does make you angry. You do feel like you want to punch the nearest thing that is near you. I understand that, right? But having said that, that is literally krodh, that is anger, right? One of the 5 vices, right? Now, what you choose to do with that anger is up to you. Do you choose to go the gundagardi route and defame your Guru, make your Guru look like a fool, or do you choose to keep the Sikhi route, spread positivity, and try and work towards these issues? I understand that the Indian government probably still hasn't even looked into the issue, right? And I understand that also makes you angry. You know, obviously, you know, we've seen it in the past, you know, young Sikhs that were being killed in India back in the Karkul lair as well. No justice been served, I understand that, right? And it does annoy you, right? But you then now trying to become a gunda, on the name of Santji, by the way, because a lot of these people are Santji followers, Sant Baba Jarnail Singh Ji Khalsa Pindaran Wale, they're talking about things. They're saying that, we want Khalistan, we want, we want our own desh, we want that Sikhi that Sant Ji established. That Sikhi that Sant Ji used to prachar, that Sikhi is things that we refuse to do nowadays. Sant Ji said to get rid of the caste system, just like we've brought it back, just like our Guru said. Sant Ji said to get rid of that caste system, bring people into Sikhi. We're pushing people away. Nowadays, you go to a Gurdwara, if a Gora comes in there, or someone poor comes in there, someone homeless comes in there, all these Singhs with big muscles come in there and start pushing the guy out the Gurdwara. They talk about how Sant Ji is such a hero, but most people, they follow what their hero says, right? So when your hero was saying to do Gurbani Prachar, to become a Sikh, those Sikhs who are already Sikhs become Amritari, those Sikhs who are Amritari become Pracharaks. When you've got a system like that Sant Ji used to talk about, Sant Ji used to say to keep Hatyas, to learn Shastra Vidya, how many people actually do that? So I understand that the youth looks for a leader. You found a leader in Sant Baba Jarnail Singh Khalsa Pindaran Wale. You couldn't ask for a more greater leader, right? But at least listen to what they've been telling you. At least listen to it and follow on it. Again, don't just think that because you've got the Bana, because you've kept your hair, because you're Amritari, because you got a Damalla, that you're now a Sikh. A Sikh's life remains throughout their whole life, and it takes one little slip up to mess you up for the rest of your life. It takes one little thing, one little mistake that you make that reflects on the whole Panth, reflects on the Guru, reflects on our Sikhi as a whole. That one little mistake can then mess everything up. Everything that we've been fighting for now, whether it's Khalistan, whether it's for a separate dish, whether it's for, the Sikh ethnicity, whether it's for justice, whether it's for things like that. We've been fighting for all these things and we're ready to throw it away when something like this happens. What's funny is that when this is a Muslim and Sikh thing, the Indian media picks it up very, very quickly. I'm sure you've seen, if you watch Indian TV channels, you've probably seen how much they picked it up and how much they prachared it and how much they showed this on TV. Whether it was the Nankana Sahib issue, whether it was the Mumbai issue or any other issue like that that's come up. They show that stuff so much, it's insane. They show that stuff for days in, days out. They have the same programs about that exact same issue for a good 2-3 weeks. When the Nihang Singh issue happened, and even though, I understand where they came from, but how far they went wasn't right. And that issue that happened, when they picked that up, when the Indian media saw that something like that happened, that Sikhs had slipped up, all that seva that the Sikhs had done, everything that, all those comments that Sikhs were getting all over the world, that they're such good people, they've been helping people, that got turned into Sikhs are barbarians, Sikhs are evil people, Sikhs are cutting off, we're breaking the law, we're doing this, we're doing that. Think about how very small events can change the perception of a Sikh. The Sikh youth nowadays, we're the ones who are going to be taking over all this stuff in the future. Whether it's the Gurdwara, whether it's, the Sikh organizations, whether it's the Sikh societies, whether it's, the channels, whether it's the things like that. All of those things are going to be eventually taken over by Sikh youth, people like me and you. Young Sikhs. That stuff's eventually going to be taken over by us. But if this is the Khalistan you're talking about, if this is the Khalsa Panth you want, that isn't a just Panth, doesn't follow what their Guru says, doesn't follow what Sant Ji says, doesn't follow anyone's rule because they think they're so badass, if that's the kind of Khalsa Panth and that kind of Khalistan that you want, that's based on Gundagardi, that ain't Khalistan. Khalistan is the land of the pure. It's not the land of gangsters, that's for sure. So understand that what you do doesn't just reflect on you, it reflects on everyone. Okay? So I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings by making this program. This is a simple wake-up call. There are people on social media who are becoming keyboard warriors, and the moment there's a time to stand up and to protect your guru or to protect someone else or to help someone else, who run away. Talking about respecting what Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj did, yet these people are using their second names instead of Singh. They are using their castes, even though Guru Sahib told you not to. So what kind of respect are you really giving your Guru? Because at this moment, it looks like we're picking and choosing what we want to and not actually following the full Sikhi that Guru Sahib's given us. Guru Sahib said that we should all stay together, and pretty much every single Amritdhari youth is so stuck in their own different jathebandis that they're creating hate between each other. That's not the Sikhi that Guru Sahib gave us. Guru Sahib gave us a Sikhi that was pure, that was so great, that we could stand. You know, the Sikhs, for example, in Chamkaur di Gadi, those Sikhs who, were so knit together, they didn't care about what jathe they were from. They didn't care what that person's caste was. They didn't care what that person's second name was. All they cared about was their Guru. And they were ready to give their heads for their Guru. And they fought such a jung that now in history we're known as those people who fought against a Fauj of 1 million. Those things in Saragadi, 21 Sikhs versus 10,000 Afghan soldiers. Now we are known as people who fight in such incredible odds just for the shan of our Guru, just for our country, just for a simple bhavana we have. And all those things that our Shaheed Singhs did for us, all those things that our Sikhs had done for us, all those things that our Gurus have done for us, all those things that the Singhs in the army have done for us, we're throwing it away for Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar, for Chutha Man, for Chutha pride. And it's absolutely sickening. Look at what you're doing first before you point fingers at others. Some people are trying to, instigate arguments, saying that Ranjit Bawa's Ghana, that he was talking, that, he said that he was cussing so many Sikhs. Why aren't the Sikhs talking about it? Sikhs should be really angry with him. Why are Sikhs trying to support him? Things like that. What he said in that Ghana is probably a biggest wake-up call to our Panth that we've had in a very long time. Because unfortunately, everything he said is true. And have we fallen really that far off the path the path that Guru Sahib gave to us? When any Sikh was fearless of death, any Sikh was ready to help anyone else, regardless of what happened. Have we fallen off that path and joined this whole gangster, bad man route? We're saying, we're saying things like Sikhs should take Amrit, Sikhs should be powerful, Sikhs should be this, Sikhs should be that. But we've created this image of gangsters because we sit there with the malle in hoods and we put masks on. It's not, you can't have both. You have one or the other. You have Guru Sahib Sikhi, or you have a gangster roop that you're seeing in Indian films. You can either be a Bollywood Sikh, or you can be a proper Sikh. So you choose which one you want to be. Because at the moment, the Sikh image, the only way I can describe it is, if any of you have seen that film, Singh is King, that came out a while ago, very long time ago now. If any of you have seen that film in there, the Singhs that were in that film were mafias, they were gangsters. They were kingpins of the country. That is literally what our Sikhs are acting like nowadays. So let's fall away from that. If you're complaining about all this Hinduvata stuff, if you're complaining about this Brahmanvad stuff, if you're complaining about all these people messing with our Panth, why are you contributing to it? Why are you allowing them to make those jokes about it yourself? Think about it. We're the youth. We're going to be taking over these things. If we're not pakke, how are we going to make sure that the future in front of us is pakka as well? So let's get rid of this kood that is in our panth. Let's get rid of all this chatter, all this, talking. Let's actually do something. Let's be positive for once. It's that positivity that let those things fight in Chamkaur di Gadi. It's that positivity that let Bhai Kanhaiya ji do that seva. It's that positivity that let those things fight in Sara Gadi. That's the kind of positivity we need in our panth. That's true Chardi Kala, not the kind of Chardi Kala you lot are talking about by knocking out every single Muslim you guys see. That's not Chardi Kala. So think about what we're doing. Let's stay in true Chardi Kala. Get rid of all these false perceptions that you think are Sikhi, and let's try and stay as Guru Sahib sings and not the gunde of Bollywood. Okay? Pulla chukka di khema. Please forgive me for any mistakes I've made. If I've hurt anyone's feelings, it's not my intention. Again, all I'm trying to do is make the youth understand what, the kind of path we're going on. It's a path that will eventually lead to darkness. The Guru brought us out of darkness and put us into the light. That's what Guru means. But we're going back to that root of darkness, so let's get out of it. Akhir de vich Fateh di sanj paiye. Please again forgive me if I have hurt your feelings or if I've made any mistakes. But let's try and work together now as the youth, move forward. And we could prove to people who are saying that we're bad, let's prove to them that we're good as well. Let's prove that positivity. Let's keep Sikhi positive, because everything in Sikhi is positive. There's nothing negative about it. Pulla chukka di khema. Waheguru ji ka Khalsa. Waheguru ji ki Fateh.
अकाल चैनल ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ। ਨਵੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਾ ਭੁੱਲਣਾ।